we never got the chance to sit down and react to The Field by Kristene DiMarco, which is not an opinion, it's a fact. It's the most superior album of all time in history. It's so good. We filmed this after we filmed our video tonight. But Cooper and I sat down to film the first 4 songs, and then we talked about What If Jesus for 43 minutes. So, and it's the first song. And we made 3 minutes and 54 seconds.
I'll tell you this much. If I'm you, if I'm never going to watch another video all the way through, this is the one I want to watch this is the one I want to watch all the way through.
Oh, I agree.
What we talk about, it's actually quite interesting.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm not saying
not like us.
We're interesting.
It's Kristene who did this to us.
The song is so interesting, and you're not going to get bored of hearing about it because it's so.
Oh, and you're going to get puzzled and challenged yourself by this song.
It's so good. Watch the video all the way through.
Watch the video all the way through.
It's so interesting.
But we wanted to apologize. This was supposed to be 4 songs in this one video that was less than 40 minutes, and it's one song more than 40 minutes in one video. So what we decided is we're just going to do a breakdown video for each of the 12 songs on the album. So we'll have a playlist that will just be The Field, since we slipped up and didn't react to this album.
But it'll be fun.
I mean, thank God we didn't. Can you imagine talking about this as a reaction? We would have literally never finished it. It would be a 6-hour video.
Could you imagine if we sat down at 11 o'clock that night planning to react to the album, and then we were like, oh.
We wouldn't have. We would have had to go to bed and finish the next morning. And I wouldn't have. I would have listened.
Pulled an all-nighter.
Anyways, you guys will enjoy this video, but we're going to release this in, I believe the album is 12 songs. Yeah, it's a 12. Yeah. So this will be a 12-part video.
We'll try to do them in a timely
It's a 46-minute album. Our first video is almost as long as the whole album. So we're on good track to finish this. Yeah. You'll have about 8 hours of content, which you deserve, and we are so stupid for not reacting to this album.
I know.
Because Kristene DiMarco is probably the best Christian songwriter ever after this. She just took her spot.
She's definitely, she's not even just Christian.
No, it's just songwriter.
It's just that she writes Christian music. But most Christian music you get is just not as lyrically mature as her songs are.
Oh my word, no.
It's just so good. So enjoy this video.
Enjoy this video.
We are going kind of behind.
I was going to say, we've not done this before. Oh, yes we have.
A breakdown?
The garden.
Yeah, we did a garden breakdown, and we also did at midnight and...
We did do At Midnight.
Something else, I feel like. When did it come out?
Oh, towards the... it was summertime-ish, 2022, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
The Field, Kristene DiMarco.
But it's arguably one of the best projects to ever come out because...
Oh my goodness.
Every single song is and this is the stuff that's so good to react to. We love songs that are repetitive and worshipy.
It came out April 8th, 2022.
Okay. But the songs that are repetitive and really singable, by just a lot of people, aren't always as interesting to break down like this. But this is very interesting to break down because every lyric is different.
That's what's so good about Kristene DiMarco.
Packed into every song.
I wouldn't call this a worship album.
No, and that's what I'm saying, but it's so interesting.
But, I'm going to get commenters. It's worship. And that's great, because, Christian music is worship, yes, but this is not a corporate worship album. This is a personal album.
It is. It's very, thought-provoking. That's what I told Mitchell. And I think
thought-provoking.
I think that was her point when she wrote all of it, was to make... I think that she was... It's following her, thought process as she's writing all of it. And you can tell that it's it's almost not even making a statement. It's almost not making a statement, but also making a statement by that. She's kind of taking typical common things that we think or overlook as Christians and kind of makes you think, is it deeper than what I realize? I don't even know how to explain it.
She said, I have such a large amount of anticipation for people to hear The Field. Whenever I've done a project before, it would come out, I'd listen to it, and I'd think, I'm not sure I believe in myself. Well, I believe myself this time. Or I'm not sure I believe myself. Well, I believe myself this time. And I hear my heart in every word, although it's not all about me. I know you'll feel Jesus and his friendship through the rawness and honesty.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's really just challenging you to take like a step back of yourself and like reevaluate your own like motives and desires.
Oh, this is so good. Okay, hold on, wait, let me just say this is it. So it says, she posted the field. The world can keep its praises, all its riches and its treasures, because there's nothing like its presence. That's when she announced the album. When she posted this, she said, so one of the big things she talked about in anticipation for this album was What If Jesus, which is the first track of the album. And she said, I wrote a song that is all questions.
Yes.
And she was like, this whole album is really just a lot of stuff. But she says, I hope you're ready for more lyrics because we're 1 week away. Gravity felt like the perfect song to ease everyone into this project.
I remember this.
A reminder of how present God is and how close he is even in the crushing gravity. How he chose and even delights to be with us till the end. Keeping this in mind, let the coming songs do their work. You may only listen once. You may not like it. The words may hurt a little like they did me. But either way, and wherever you go, I'm committing to letting him in and letting him lead. Offenses don't make me holy, and being correct doesn't make me righteous. Only Jesus.
Yeah.
And so this album really, now, I would bet there are a lot of haters on this album.
I'm sure, because it's almost controversial, a lot of things
controversial, the things that she says. But listen, this was my #1 most streamed album last year. And The Field was my second song. Rest was #1. The Field was second.
Rest?
Well, it was Carrie Job's Rest. It was my #1 streamed song, and The Field was #2. And I have not found something in here where I'm like, she's a heretic. You know, like I've listened to it, and where I want to be like upset at stuff that she says, I'm like, okay, but this is true.
Because I think that most of the time, we write songs or even like just have our thoughts, they come out of such a confidence that we don't, like, in our own opinion, that we don't necessarily always have the right to have, like, and I think that's a big thing of what she challenges is like,
oh my goodness, yeah,
like a lot of things that we just think are our opinions more than we realize it. And
this first song really does it.
It's not just truth, and it's not just biblical, and it does, like she said, like some of the words hurt because you hear it and you're like, you want to get mad and be like, that's
such a stupid song.
That's not me.
But
and then you're like, wait,
crud, like I do this, and it's like in what is it? What's the? I think we can. Listen, I've been a Kristene DiMarco fan since she sang "Break Every Chain" with Jesus Culture, which I believe is one of her bigger starting out moments. I know she like released an album before that, but that was like one of her when she got a name. And I, as a little kid, saw "Break Every Chain," and I was like, Kristene DiMarco. And I've listened to her ever since then. When her album Mighty came out, I was like, this is a superior album. How dare this album be the most underrated thing in the entire world, because it is one of the top 10 most superior albums in all of history.
It's quite good.
Where His Light Was, a prelude to this album, almost as good. Now, did she beat it with The Field? This is one of the best albums ever released in all history.
And you know what? I don't even know how to define the style of it. It's so interesting.
It's like pop folk.
Pop folk, like.
It's like pop folk, country, Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, like it literally hits so many areas, and like there's almost a soft rock to it.
Yes, but she's like that. She's not really like genre defined.
No, she's not. That's right.
And that's what I think. As I listen to her music, I'm like, this didn't come from something else. Like sometimes you can hear in other songs like this was inspired by this. This is like, where is this even coming from? It's so, that's the thing. It's so original. It's
the
so
writing is so original.
The writing, yes.
Christian people would not dare write about this stuff.
Yeah, it is.
It's so good. But we can collectively agree, Don't Pass Me By. I mean, The Field is my favorite song on the album, but Don't Pass Me By, it has to be the best song.
Don't Pass Me By, I've listened to 100 million times, and I cry every time.
It's so good.
It's so good.
We'll get to that because we're going to be in that one. So we're planning on breaking this video down into 4 parts. So 4, 4, and 4, or excuse me, 3 parts, 4, 4, and 4 songs. So we're going to tackle the first 4 today, and we'll see how far we get. We are at night, and it's 10:11, and we have to react to something at 11 tonight when it comes out. But let's go ahead and start. The first one is What If Jesus. I want to get the lyrics pulled up.
I have listened through the whole thing. I don't remember every single thing, so I don't
I
remember
had the lyrics for us.
So it's like, it will be, I mean, I already know it, so I'm not like reacting. Some stuff I don't remember. Because there's certain songs that I've listened to continuously over and over again, but some of them I only listened to the first time I listened to it.
I have like one skip on the whole album, and it's only because when I'm listening to this most of the time, I'm in my feels and I don't like jumping into a fast song in the middle of it. So I skip That's Why Jesus Came, and it's so sad because it's a good song. But yeah. Okay.
I relate. Do y'all do that? Like, put in the comments, because that's so, like, that's so me.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And it's pretty much all the time. I'm just like a consistent fast song skipper.
Oh, these lyrics are so superior. Okay, let's just start. What If Jesus is an entire song of questions that are
which really
truly mind-boggling.
It really opens up for the rest of the album.
This is a hard
then
first
it
song.
gets you thinking, and then you listen to the rest, and you're like, crud.
Yeah, so this was written by, it doesn't say, so we're going to go to Genius. It is written by...
You want to know a song by her that blew my mind? I Will Rise. When I heard her sing that, I thought, she has a low voice, and I did not know she could sing like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
When she goes, Jesus rise, Jesus rise, God through my life. That kind of like shocked me.
Okay, What If Jesus was written by Kristene DiMarco and Michael Farren. So let's just start. What If Jesus, track 1 of the best album of all time.
What if Jesus is okay with letting parts of him remain a mystery?
That melody.
What if Jesus is just smiling when I think down here I must know everything?
See, that's already like...
this next line.
What if my views don't reflect his fullness? And there's still so much more.
See, even from that line, so she hits it so much more in this song.
I know.
Of like targeting people, but what if my views don't reflect his fullness? She never blatantly says. This is why it feels controversial.
Yes.
Because she never says, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
She says like, what if you're doing something wrong?
Yeah, and
she never calls anything
She
out.
says it from a personal perspective, which is...
But it makes you think.
It makes you think, and
like,
and then when you hear it,
like,
you almost put yourself in her place.
Yeah.
And then it's like it says, he's smiling, thinking I must know everything, and we really do. Like when like, let's just say someone comes to ask me any question about something, what do you think about this? I'd probably have an immediate answer.
Right.
Like, and it's not like that's necessarily a bad thing, that you just naturally, based on your own experiences and your own like knowledge, that you just make a judgment so quick. Like you think your perspective on everything is the right perspective. It's natural to think that, because it's like, why would you think that if you didn't think you were right? But then to hear that, you think, man,
does it reflect his fullness?
Is when I think really, like, when I make my quick judgments, is it based on me, or is it based on the fullness of God?
Oh, and then it gets so much better.
Heaven yet to see.
And can we also, this song doesn't even have a chorus. It's just 4 verses.
Yeah.
To be so superior.
What
No
if
chorus.
trusting him is what he's looking for? Would that be good enough? Good enough for
And
me?
is that good enough for me? Is like, can I be okay with
What
that?
if Jesus
Oh, yeah, like, is that okay?
Like, am I satisfied to just trust that, like, he knows everything and I don't? Like, you know?
It's so
or am I
good.
so prideful that I have to, like, think I can figure it all out?
Okay, so she says this right here. Oh, this line. Oh my God.
sees what I miss, and he does not share all my thoughts on politics.
That hits so hard.
What if his body
What doesn't does really make you think, because like at the bottom line, lots of these American people, including myself, who are so into politics, like most of the time when someone asks me about politics and they like say truly like pick a side, I'm going to say, I will answer what I think, and then I'll say, but like I'm going to vote for what most lines up biblically. That's what I'm going to say. But like the reality is, these dumb things that the Americans fight over like no one's business, at the end of the day, when you really do sit back and think about it, like, does that affect anything about God?
And
it doesn't. And so they get in these huge fights and ruin their names over irrelevant things that have nothing to do with Jesus.
And what does the Bible say? Like, don't waste your time and energy on like worthless quarreling over stuff that is nothing
and 90%
to do with the kingdom.
of social media is just quarreling Christians.
And it all is. And it's like, it says you're just confusing yourself and confusing other people more by just getting into stuff that's irrelevant. And
Kristene
politics
really
can
went
become
at
that. And you have to think, like, you can think politically as a citizen of a country. You can develop reasonable thoughts and stuff. But then, like, to think, what, like, if I really, really think, if Jesus were like standing here with me, what would he say? And the truth is, how often in the Bible did someone say their opinion and Jesus be like, yes, you're exactly right?
Yeah, I don't think ever. Like, I think like one time, is it Peter?
Yeah.
Or is it John, like, where he's like, who do you say I am?
Yes, it's Peter.
That's like the one time he said,
and that's the only time he's like, yes.
Yeah, he's like,
but other than that, it's always like,
you have said, what you've said is true, whatever he says, yeah.
Other than that, it's always like, someone has a thought or wants to do something or thinks a certain way, and Jesus always has a better way to think of it than we do. And it's like, so yeah, even with politics, we're on a bad track. We're on a bad track. We're like, we're going to run out of time already.
We're going to do these individual songs. I'm going to say it. Okay, because this next line took me and threw me off a cliff, okay? Not this one.
Yeah.
That I have dug out in my own self-righteousness.
Oh, and then this line, just...
And what if people I don't agree with are the same ones pouring their perfume on his feet?
What if people I don't agree with are the same ones pouring their perfume on his feet?
I saw something the other day that was like, I don't even remember, but that's crazy. Because
that happens all the time. Like, you think, like, you get into an argument with, like, I don't know, you just, I guess it doesn't necessarily happen to me like that most of the time, I guess, from my understanding, right? But, like, I do often, I'm on the Christian side of Instagram Reels and stuff, and I literally look in comments to get a good laugh sometimes, because I know there are people in there that are being just, like, animalistic towards each other. And you have to think, like, you're fighting over defending who's right about the Bible, but the bottom line is, if these people are so serious about this, both of them probably are pretty serious. Like, they just...
both have... So, yeah. So, what I saw the other day was, like, I'm pretty sure that God is going to have a lot more mercy for people who get little things here and there wrong about how they interpret certain things, but I don't think he's going to have the same kind of mercy for people who aren't still loving and aren't still, like, having his heart for them.
Right, it almost takes you back to the parable where he, like, forgives the servant all the money he owed, and then he goes and treats the other guy horrible and won't forgive him. And these people are attacking each other over religious viewpoints. That really, when it does come down to the end of the day, I'll say this confidently, the majority of things people are arguing over on social media are not like heaven or hell determiners. I don't think so. Because most of the things that I see are not like, well, if they're wrong about this, everyone's going to hell. But if they're wrong about this, everyone's going to hell.
And
right? It's not mostly like that.
Oh, like it's saying, what if those people I don't agree with are the same ones pouring their perfume on his feet? Like, what if they're getting things wrong and I'm also getting things wrong, but they're still, like, they still are seeking him and still have the right heart, and I still have to, like, you still have to think about that. Like,
I know.
And what if those people, in their, like, incorrect thought process are even more righteous than I am because I'm judging them for it.
Well, that being so rude about it too, right?
Yeah, and because I think that God isn't always looking for people to be the most like correct on everything. Like, yes, you want to have the right doctrine.
Yeah.
Yes, but little things here and there, is it really about that, or is it really about,
and is it worth getting so into it with someone over it that you just ruin yourself in the process and you defame someone and hurt someone who really does love God?
Exactly. And you don't see their secret.
You don't know their motives behind everything.
Yeah.
And it's just so thought-provoking that she put that in a song. Yeah. Just in a little line. She killed everyone.
So we're sitting here, we spend 5 minutes on every single line, and she says it in one line.
Oh my word, I know. Let's keep going.
What if Jesus gets lost?
Listen, verse 4 really does. Like, I can spend 2 hours on
Would
this.
that be beautiful, beautiful to me?
Oh my word.
We just can't do this.
I'm sorry, and we've not even touched on this music. What style of music is this?
It's so good.
What if Jesus desires mercy while I'm busy judging others?
That's what I
for
just
their
said.
deeds?
What if Jesus desires mercy while I'm busy judging others for their deeds?
You know what? I read Jonah yesterday morning, and that's exactly that.
It's exactly that.
Like,
yeah.
he goes and he's like, God, how dare
Literally
you
the worst book in the Bible.
I know. He goes, he finally obeys, and then he goes, this is why I didn't come here, because I knew you were going to have mercy on them. I knew you were.
And we don't even
God's
get the end of that story.
I know, I know.
It just cliffhangs.
Like,
it's like someone accidentally lost the last pages.
Yeah.
And we just don't get it.
But it's like, and God goes, like, how could I not have mercy on these people? And it's just, God isn't, and you're wanting me to destroy them.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, not gonna lie, like, there are several times where I felt that way. Not like I want God to just kill a whole group of people, but I'm like,
I want them to pay for what they've done.
I want them to pay for what they've done. And like, I like it. I feel like
I want to pay for what I've done.
Right, but I feel like as Christians, you have to say, like, most people will probably have had those moments where, like, it's one of those persecuted for righteousness' sake type things, where, like, a group of people have made fun of me for something because I was such a goody-goody in high school and stuff like that, and you're like, it's tough to not, like, after what they did to Jonah in that sense, it's a perfect story to relate. You just want to give up on people and just be like, because you did this, I'm done with you. But, like, do we want God to look at us and say, because you did this, I'm done with you?
Yeah, so we want to crucify other people.
What if Jesus, and we missed this line, what if Jesus sees what I miss, and he does not share all my thoughts on politics?
We talked about that.
Yeah, no, I know, but I didn't see that. What if he sees what I miss?
Yeah. So that, there's
Jesus
so
sees
much that we don't see.
That we just don't even know.
There's so
We're
much.
just being lied to by the media to start fights. It really is
we
true.
make all these opinions based on second-hand information.
It's true.
100% of the time.
100%
I mean, 100% of the time, you are not on the site gathering the, like, evidence.
Well, and you weren't there to eyewitness most stuff that happened.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't know.
Yeah.
And you only hear things through, like, news is political. News isn't factual all the time.
Oh, I know. Okay, so what if Jesus desires mercy while I'm busy judging others for their deeds?
'Cause if I have his heart and friendship, then I must know he loves the liars and the thief.
Yeah.
What if I spend life in his vineyard, and at midnight he redeems my enemy?
Listen, that's so rude that she said that, because it's true.
It's true.
Because a lot of times you're like I it's sad to say, but I, like, have circumstances that, like, even come up in my mind right now where I'm like, where I want to sit back and be like, how is it fair that they got to act like that and they still got, like, get saved, and get all the same stuff?
How's it fair that at the last moment someone can receive the same salvation that I received from living my whole life for you? But you have to think, though, it's not like It's not like my life would have been any better if I could have been saved at the last minute. It's a gift that I've been saved my whole life.
Right.
You know?
But some people are like, that's not fair that you get it.
It's
like the prodigal
so
son
much
almost.
reward that I have because it's not, and I don't want that for them, but it's like, I don't want to, like, you don't look at your life as if, man, it's not fair that they got to be saved at the last minute. It's like, it's not fair that they didn't get to live their whole life knowing Jesus, you know? You can't look at it like...
You can't. That's just so superior,
It's so superior.
I can't believe that she wrote that.
I wonder if she just, like, wrote down all these different questions she had all at different times, you know, and then compiled it all into it. But it all rhymes. Like, it's not just a random...
That's why these Christian songs are so offensive. Because they make it work.
Yeah.
Politics, righteousness...
Yeah.
Okay, here's this. This is the same.
What if trusting him is what he's looking for? Would that be good enough?
Listen, you know what?
Good enough.
This last verse is the most offensive thing I've ever heard in my life.
We've got 30 minutes.
What if Jesus' wedding table holds the people that have hurt and wounded me? What if I'm seated in the middle, while at the head are some who've only just believed?
Okay, the last line is its whole own conversation, so we'll just start here. What if Jesus' wedding table holds the people that have hurt and wounded me? What if I'm seated in the middle, while at the head are some who've only just believed? What if Jesus' wedding table holds the people that have hurt and wounded me? Like, what if at the marriage supper of the Lamb, after the rapture's taken place and we've all stood before God, we go into eternity, you sit down and you're like, is your mentality going to be,
sit down next?
There's that absolute loser who did this to me on earth?
Are you going to have to sit in front of people
who are higher than
who
you?
you talked bad about? Yeah, people
who are sat higher
than you, who you said they'll never make it into heaven, or
those viewpoints were terrible.
They're so wrong, or
right.
They're an idiot, or I always think about this. You have to be humble, and no matter how much you think things, sometimes, like, yes, there's
so hard.
There are some black and white things
that
it's like
that
you're not wrong about,
right?
But there are so many things that it's like you can have so much grace for yourself and overlook so much of your own flaws and notice everyone else's so much, and then there you get into the, like, take the log out of your own eye first. But am I gonna have to sit down in front of people and look like an idiot, feel like an idiot, because I don't know that we'll be spared from that, like, embarrassment.
Just this whole song is a great reason why, no matter how awesome somebody is or how awesome your pastors are, you honor them, but open up your Bible and read it yourself.
You don't
ever trust that what someone else has said, because if someone, now, will they stand before God for leading people incorrectly? Absolutely, but you will too, for believing it instead of reading it yourself. And you don't have an excuse if
you don't have an excuse if you're mistaught, because you can always find it yourself.
You can always. The Word of God, especially now, is so accessible.
And the Holy Spirit really, sometimes people interpret things different, but if you really seek the Holy Spirit, He can speak through His Word to you and give you the truth. And
my back's already unwell. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But it's like, what was I saying? The
Holy Spirit.
You can. There's no excuse. Yeah. You can read and find for yourself. I know what I was gonna say. Someone who's actually speaking truth to you, you won't have to go searching for their scriptural evidence yourself. They'll give it to you. Like someone when a pastor is preaching and what he's saying is actually biblical, most of the time whoever it is going to already have that scriptural evidence for you. Like, it's not going to be like you have to be like, man, I wonder
where that is in the Bible.
Yeah, most of the time, it's a good sign if they what they're saying. If they have
on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
true.
just like saying a bunch of stuff. But we're so off topic.
No,
this is going to be an
it's-
over 30-minute video. I don't want to take any of this out.
What if after all I've been through, everyone gets the same he promised me?
What if after all I've been through, everyone gets the same he promised me? I feel like she's writing that from a point of like, would you be like selfish and like thinking like, why did they all get that? Oh my goodness.
What if Jesus alone is the reward?
That
He would be good enough for me.
Okay, so she's saying that there. Okay, so that's the only time she's not asking a question in the whole entire song.
Yeah.
Because in these other ones, she says, would that be good enough? Would that be beautiful? And would that be good enough? And so she says, he would be good enough. So she like ends it all by saying, he would be good enough. But like, what if like a lot of people you hear like, oh, I'm doing this for this, for this, for this, for this. Like, what if all of that's absolutely irrelevant and just Jesus is the reward? Is that good enough for you to do what you're doing?
Yeah. Am I doing my ministry? Am I witnessing to people? Am I doing all these things because I want something in return? Because I want to feel good about myself, or because I want to feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? Is it because I want, is it because I want blessing? Like, is it, because even then, it's like, is that a good reason? Is it a good reason to do what you're doing, Because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong for even praying for blessing, but is it your only motivation for doing what's right?
Or is it just for Jesus?
Is it just because you love him?
And this woman literally says here, he would be good enough. Like, that's good enough for me. Oh, my word, after this album,
can we
you
say that?
even doubt it?
Like,
but yeah, this is such a harsh song. It's the worst song I've ever heard, actually. because it's like, it just challenges you so much. And like, the first time I heard this, like, my jaw was dropped in my car, and I was like,
well, this is the like largest ratio of time we've ever spent talking about a song.
It's only going to get worse to this album, though.
It's only going to get worse.
The Field. Do you know how much I had to say about that song? Gravity. Okay.
But it's just, it's a gift to y'all that we're doing this.
Oh, it is.
We almost didn't do it.
Because we didn't react to this album.
I know.
It's our biggest mistake.
It's our biggest mistake, really, because we really were just so ignorant to overlook it.
I was gone.
We did. That's what
I was gone, and I didn't want to wait to listen to it, so I listened to it without you.